Welcome to the latest This Week's Acca podcast, sponsored by Sky Bet Acca Freeze. Tom, Joe and Jimmy with you to run through the schedule. Coming up on this episode then, League One and League Two return following the FA Cup weekend, and we make the most of it, picking a fourfold that can trump recent performances around the 11-1 marker. Did you get it? Trump election topic. There you go. Please, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel to ensure that you never miss an episode, and remember to keep it fun. Never bet more you can afford. This podcast is 18 plus. Please gamble responsibly. Let's start, as ever, by looking at last week, which was not good. I was the only one of the three of us on it, I think. I can barely remember what happened last week.
Which means you have to take all responsibility.
Yeah, well, what I will say, Liverpool beat Brighton, Burton beat Scarborough, Sunderland drew with QPR, Bristol Rovers drew with Western-super-Mare. I believe they won in extra time, and Tonbridge Angels were picked to beat Harbour Town.
How did they get on?
I think they lost 4-0.
At home.
So close.
Drastic measures were needed for this week's, and we've had to get rid of the one who put that up. But there would be, surely, a lot of comments about last week, which is why we wanted Jimmy in, because I can't imagine there's a lot of positivity.
Maybe even about the name of the podcast. I'm Loving Angels instead of anything else on the slate. Pretty much was the name of the podcast last week.
What did they call it?
We've highlighted
Loving
the one
Angels
result
instead.
that...
What should you have? Oh, yeah, I get it.
I'm loving Brewers instead.
Yeah.
Well, comments a toxic place, and I've been loving it. We'll start off.
Look at his face.
Start off mild. Sean Scott Deans. He actually commented like 7 or 8 times last week, so he must have been watching the games, the goals going, and then just commenting because it was a roller coaster. But his first comment was, "I'm not sure about Bristol Rovers to beat Western-super-Mare." Good point. He'll bang on the money.
Yep. 90-minute betting in the FA Cup, so correct.
Yep, and they get progressively worse from here. Someone called P Silo 7789 said, "Stay away from odds on away, boys. This is basic stuff." Then Jonathan Edwards said, "Stay in your lane, fellas." Monkey emoji like this, monkey emoji like this, and then a crying, laughing face.
It's not the long jumper, is it?
No. Oh, we've been over this before. He's commented before because that's when I had to reveal that he went through that period of refusing to compete on a Sunday before later denouncing God completely.
Wasting his time then, really.
Yeah, this was around, I'm trying to think, about a year ago. Any very, very dedicated listener, please let us know whether we have mentioned that before. I think so.
And the best comment was, "What garbage this show is," from G.Pitts P6969. No, it was Tom McGinty put that. So, well, fuck off then. Go. If you hate it so much, don't come back. We don't want you. Stupid idiot. But in all fairness, it has been rubbish for weeks.
Yeah, in all fairness, he's correct. So well done. A lot of football's happened since then.
So much.
Very briefly. And of course, we had the huge drama on Tuesday night that's been dominating the news. Enough about Sheffield United's late winner, though, Jimmy. Hey, that was a US election joke. Politics, everyone.
I actually wondered what you were
Politics, everyone. I was going to go sport and beat Man City, but I thought, nah. A lot of weird results in midweek, though, which I'm wondering, has it influenced our weekend selections? Because I usually start looking on the Monday, say, for picks for the next Acca. Still have done that, but then with the slate of Championship, a couple of League One fixtures in midweek, it has kind of thrown a little bit of a spanner in the works.
That's interesting you do that, because I do the complete opposite. I just wait until like Wednesday night, Thursday morning, and then try and squeeze it like a week's worth of football into like 12 hours, and half it I'm sleeping for. So different systems for different types of people. But it's true, because you can go and check out the odds on a Monday, a couple of results, and they're completely swung them a different way. So all the work you do on a Monday is pointless anyway. So that's why I wait till Thursday.
Oh, thank you.
You, my friend, are an idiot.
General slate then, how have we found it?
Yeah, been all right, ain't it?
Mixed, I'd say. I've got some bigger price ones that I think are good, but do you know what you'd describe as Acca bankers? I think it's fairly slim pickings. Pulling my hair out for an hour or so yesterday before settling on a few.
As brilliant as Sky Sports Plus has been, it has not helped Acca building, because more teams are now playing early kickoffs, and there's a few this week that I'd be like, like Millwall away at Stoke, going, oh, you may as well keep going on the Millwall kind of train and keep going with them. They're 12:30, so don't really want to include them. Cardiff Blackburn, potential for goals. Middlesbrough, again, another team potentially there. I was going to talk about Shrewsbury, just throwing them. Now they've sacked their manager and interim charge at a big price away at a struggling Burton. They're 12:30. You can't have that.
It does make me think whether
horrible.
I mean, obviously we're back in a winner at 3 p.m. this week, and then all will be fine. Whether we do need to reconsider our focus on 3 p.m. games if this run of losers continues, because
Loosen the shackles.
all of these matches
Jamie
being moved
Shackleton.
really has been tricky this season, hasn't it? Which
Has
we've
it,
never had to deal with before this year. Well, it's playing out, isn't it, at the moment? So
Yeah, but you still
might be
got.
one to chat through at some point,
But there's 2,
or ask our wonderful listeners what they think.
4, 6. There's 6 12:30 fixtures this week. So what's that?
It's not just the 12:30s though, is it?
12:30.
It's the 12:30s, and then they put more on a Friday, then they're putting more on a Sunday. So you're probably losing between 7 and 10 matches per weekend, which is a fair amount.
I just think
Where-
what we need to do is just pick winners.
Oh yeah.
Oh, brilliant.
Instead.
Oh, right, that's where we go wrong.
Excellent
Very simple
strategy.
then, Jimmy.
Would you like one?
Yes, you've opened it and you've confidently predicted it. Give us a winner. Let's start off nice and strong. One we can all get on board with, please.
Chesney 47 at home to Accrington.
I could see this being an Acca game. I looked at it.
Aki.
Acca game works. And I didn't include it for that reason because I knew someone else would say it. So tell us about this one and why, because it is a short old price.
Yeah, it is my strongest fancy, and it's just because I think Chesney, they were pretty much top of the market, weren't they, too?
Chesterfield to give them their full name, which I don't think you've used yet.
Chesney.
Chesney.
Yeah, well, they were one of the favourites for the title, and they haven't like set the world alight, but I just think they've been growing into the season, feeling their way in. They've took 6th at the minute, 8 points off the title pace, but as I say, I think they're gathering momentum. They've only lost twice all season, not lost since mid-September, unbeaten at home as well. But the only caveat is they've drawn 6 of those 7 games
a lot
at
of
home.
draws,
A lot of draws. But if you actually look at it, the last 3 at home, they played Walsall second. Great start to the season. They played County, who were third. And they've also played Colchester, where they conceded early. And they had all the running and just couldn't find the sort of second goal. Those were the last 3 draws. But sandwiched in between them, they beat Newport comfortably 3-0, I think it was. And then they scored 5 at Morecambe when they beat them. So, I feel like they've laid the foundations, and now they're going to start motoring along, picking up the wins instead of draws.
I mean, as irritating as draws are, at least they are gaining points in a way, rather than them losing. You know, if they're losing one week, winning the next, it does seem a bit of a fine margin thing. Defensively, pretty strong unit going on there. Attacking wise, we know that they're pretty good as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think with it being at Chesterfield, I'm more inclined to include this because, yes, there are a lot of draws. However, Accrington on the road, I know they beat Gillingham recently, but beyond that, it just seems to be losing every week, doesn't it?
Hell yeah. They won a flurry of 3 games, didn't they, in October, but they've only won 1 away, lost all the other 6. So you got a side who really struggled to win away, and Chesney just don't lose. The other thing is, Chesney has added goals. Even though they've been drawing, it were 2 against Walsall, 2 against County, 3 against Newport, 5 against Morecambe. They're scoring bags of goals. If they score 2, can you really see Accrington outscoring them?
No.
I think they will score
It's
2.
the age-old one, isn't it?
If they score 2, can Accrington score 3 or 2? Nah.
John Doolan got nominated for Manager of the Month, I think, as well. I don't know if a curse is nominated. I think it's been announced. This was embargoed. I'm pretty sure it's fine by the time we do this. And I don't know. Yeah, it shows that they have had a good month, but on the road, like you say there, I think it's 6 losses from 7. It's going to be a pick that's going to be in a lot of people's accumulators this weekend, and I'm just worried that we might overthink it and just overlook them on what is a tricky slate.
Yeah, all points that I would have made have been covered. Very shortly rounded up would be played well at home, not taking the chances, scored 21 in the last 8 games, though. So they have started scoring nearly 3 goals per game over the last 8 matches, suggests that that's not going to carry on happening, that they're not taking their chances and winning. So I would have them in.
Let's take them then. First pick of this week's Acca. It comes from Sky Bet League 2. We are taking Chesterfield for a home win over Accrington. I'm going to take us into League One for my pick here. The first kind of suggestion that I'm going to make. We've touched upon it there. There's a number of games that look tricky to call this weekend. There is one that is an odds-on shout, though, and I'm going to take you to, I believe it's called the Cambridgeshire Derby, I want to say. Peterborough to beat Cambridge on Saturday, London Road. Cambridge have had an upturn in form, which I don't think any of us really saw coming, or many people.
I know someone who saw it coming.
Who?
George Ellick on the Not the Top 20 podcast.
Okay, great.
He called it.
Congratulations. But what I will say on that is that won the last 5 in all competitions. 2 of those were cup competitions. Okay, so the Bristol Street Motors Trophy, the FA Cup as well.
Chelsea under 21s.
Woking nonsense. League wins, Burton, Stevenage and Wigan. So yes, to be fair, those are the wins that they need to be making, need to be having. But they're obviously lower end of the table teams you'd fancy this season. They then go to a Peterborough team, unbeaten in their last 7 in all competition. 5 of those have been wins, obviously 2 draws there as well. Really strong attacking unit. It's just kind of the philosophy of the football club that they can sell a player or two kind of high-end, high, strong, attacking players that they have, and there'll just be someone else there ready to take the place. And it's just this constant process, and it's showing this season. They're continuing to create lots of chances, continuing to score lots of goals. And for me, yeah, even though it's a local derby, I don't buy too much into the cliche that form goes out the window in a local derby. More so if you're the underdog at home, then okay, I get that. But for me, Peterborough at home to Cambridge, they can kind of bring an end to this strong run for them.
Do they hate each other?
It's their main rivalry, I think.
Is it?
I'm pretty sure Peterborough-Cambridge is their main rivalry. Particularly from a Peterborough perspective, I assume it's the same from Cambridge. I'm sure this is their main rivalry, Peterborough-Cambridge.
Ground to ground, it'll take you 1 hour and 9 minutes to get there right now. And that's taking into account traffic going into Cambridge.
Talk about the game. I'm going to get Peterborough's Wikipedia page up.
Waffling? A rivalry? Derby?
It is definitely a huge rivalry for the club. Right, you talk about the game. I'm getting Peterborough's...
I don't know about that. No, this was my second strongest pick. I think it's a great price. I love this, and I want it in the Acca. Another one of them. I don't know about you, Joe, but I can see Peterborough going through, and I can't see Cambridge.
Sorry, before Joe goes on there, according to football fan censors, Cambridge United were considered to be the club's main rivals. Yeah, so you go to their rivalries page, and the biggest one is Cambridge United.
Yeah, but do they
Northampton
hate each other?
second. They're the club's traditional rival, but Cambridge are considered to be the main rival.
Well, you learn something every day.
There you go. Joe doesn't like this. I can tell in his facial expressions.
No, I didn't note it down because of Cambridge having their uptick in form, and then...
But then they played rubbish teams.
They've got the... So they are local rivals, but as far as I understand it, they're not like massive ones, because I don't think that they have the traditional history of having played each other much.
I think to be fair, because it's Peterborough, Cambridge, it's not going to be like the Istanbul derby, is it? But
I don't think it's a...
There's less than 500 tickets left. And that was the other day. So really a big game.
It's not one of those huge derby matches where I would be particularly concerned about it. I know Peterborough Northampton is a derby, so it's not always about locality. Brighton Palace being another example of something like that.
That's a rivalry.
But yeah, it's a curious part of the world, because Peterborough and Northampton used to be in the same county before borders got drawn, and then they played each other a lot over a lot of years, so they were bigger rivals. But
borders being the subject of the week.
Yeah. Yeah, you lads have won me over with this, to be honest. The Peterborough's tendency to be able to score plenty of goals, and Cambridge not to score very many, wins me over, to be honest. Yeah. It isn't one that I was massively sold on, but you've sold me.
Brilliant. Yes! And that's the second pick of this week's Acca. Yes?
Hell yes.
Right, second pick then. of this week's Acca, joining Chesterfield to beat Accrington. The ginormous, huge game. I'm not listening to these two. Big old game down at London Road. It's Peterborough for a home win over Cambridge.
Before we move on, make sure you click like and subscribe, and also click on that notification bell to be notified of all of our latest videos. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
17-10 the double so far. It's a shame we didn't do this on Tuesday because the amount of football-based US election doubles that I saw floating around social media. Someone did Gokares and Donald Trump to win.
I've seen a better one. I've seen one that can trump that.
Top Trumps. Hey, there you go.
Donald Trump, you're not going to like the second leg, and Tanganga to score.
Donald Trump to win the US presidential election and Japhet Tanganga to score any time in Millwall versus Leeds. They should have been brave and gone first. Scored the only goal of the game, didn't he? What odds are we talking here?
Well, Fiverr returned 121, so around 22 to 1. 20,
30s.
20 to 1.
Big price.
Skip over it.
Big price.
Big old
Check your
price.
math.
It's a shame we don't have any cross-politics ones that we can go for this weekend because fundamentally they're just a bit more fun than going for football teams. 17-10 then Peterborough and Chesterfield. Joe, take it away with a pick we can get on board with, please.
I hate myself a bit for really wanting this in, but it's just the price. I can't get away from it. That MK Dons have stung us before, but 10-11
Yeah.
to beat Swindon. It's an enormous price on this slate, and it's very, very uncomplicated. MK Dons are a very good League Two team. Swindon, I'm just not having it. The managerial change. I've talked about a lot on the podcast this season about Swindon being very poor for a very long time now. More than a year, you go back and look at the results. No matter which manager, they're onto the third different one now in that time span. And MK Dons have won their last 3 matches in League Two, so Scott Lindsay's starting to get a grip of it and scored 7 goals across those 3 games as well. So it just feels like it'd be, you know what, they might not win, but at that price, it just feels like it was crazy to not.
They might also win.
Yeah.
Yay!
This is the beauty of the game.
If it was like 1 or 1 to 2, even 4 to 6, I'd be like, do you know what? It's maybe still a little bit
See it
to
heading
see.
that way.
But 10-11, it's just got to go in.
Yes, I had this down for basically the price reason as well. It is surprising to see, and again, it is the MK Dons trap, as we'll call it, but it just looks a standout price across Saturday's slate.
Yeah, these are my top 3 picks that we've got in so far.
Oh my God, how many picks do you have in total?
4.
Oh my God, right.
I'm on for a
later.
clean sweep. That never happens.
It would be quite something. If you go for like a 9-1 outsider as your 4th, it's going to completely ruin it. But, you know, MK Dons, to be honest, I think this is going to be a pick that's going to go in.
Do you know
go on.
the thing with Scott Lindsay, like, Joe, you said he's getting a grip on things. To be honest, though, I think he just made an instant impact. The first game with that 5-1 demolition of Harrogate, weren't it? He's only lost to Port Vale, excluding the Cup. I don't think MK Dons get that fixture. I don't think they get the
they had a
rivalry.
couple of draws, though, didn't they, early on as well? I'd have to go
4
back.
wins.
I'd have to go back and check.
6 games, 4 wins, 3 wins on the spin. That's what I got.
It.
Yeah, league only. Not looking at the Cup. Cup don't matter unless it suits your argument.
True.
Does it, Duff?
You got
Correct,
it.
Jimbo.
Yeah.
Have a look top.
Yeah, I mean,
Swindon,
we could
crap.
just be talking around the edges for no point here, couldn't we?
The question I wanted to ask was MK Dons are 9-2 to finish in the top 3 this season. At that price, do you take it, considering how hot we were on them pre-season? Obviously, Mike Williamson has since gone. Scott Lindsay's come in, which is a continuity of this style of play. He was clearly the standout candidate if they were going to go and try and continue that on. 9-2 the price, 4-1 kind of generally on this. At this stage, they are 5 points off the top 3. Obviously, there's still about 32 games of the season to go. Do you think that's a bit of value if we're expecting them, and we've been caught and stung before by this, but we're expecting MK Dons to sort themselves out?
I'd probably be leaning more towards just backing them for promotion because it feels quite competitive at the top.
You can get 5 to 6 top 7.
Yeah. I
Want a little in-play mid-season Acca.
Do you know what's really good
5-2
about
for
MK
promotion.
Dons?
MK Dons.
They signed Scott Hogan, and he's fucking good at League Two level.
Tell you what, there's a few little oldies turning up, aren't there? Because Hogan's gone there. You see Martin
little
Waghorn just come out of nowhere to sign for Northampton Town the other
Yeah,
day as
Off the
well.
bench, couldn't do it against Kettering though, could he?
Kettering, who
Yeah,
on
our
the topic
Ranger.
of old strikers, Gary Hooper, Marvin Sordell, now Ranger was
Yeah,
there.
incredible.
Danger.
Harbour Town, who stung us last week. Harbour Town have welcomed Sandro,
That is outrageous.
which I couldn't believe when I saw it. The fact that he is 35. I thought he'd be a lot older than it when I saw it.
Goodness.
You're getting a few of these old players.
He's always quite old looking, wasn't he?
Maybe this is the deceptive thing about it, isn't it?
Yeah. Old.
Um,
Like that older cousin who you could always get to buy stuff for you.
You're revealing
No,
crimes?
I'm thinking Jimmy's older cousin.
crimes. You've been caught. Third pick, I think we've settled on then. Sounds like?
yes,
Excellent.
I want it.
Third pick then of this week's Acca. We have so far got Chesterfield to beat Accrington, Peterborough, I should say, to beat Cambridge, and then it is MK Dons to beat Swindon. Our treble is above 4-1 at the moment, 4.2-ish to 1.
Can we just take that? Get back in the winning enclosure.
Well, we
it
could,
allowed?
Jimmy, but
Cheating the system, that ain't it?
Cheating what system? We make the rules.
yeah, we could. Honestly, I'd love to settle on this as a treble, but
Fine. Thanks for coming.
You
everybody.
revealed-
We'll be back next week.
you revealed that 3 of your 4 picks from your shortlist for the episode currently make up the Acca, and you just declared in the break there that you get half a team in usually.
Yeah, if I'm lucky.
Yeah, so
How more did you get?
I look, I'm more than happy to settle on a 4-1 treble. Don't get me wrong, but I would absolutely love to have a Jimmy the Punt fourfold being the Acca this week.
I think.
Tell us this team, and please, for the love of God, say we can get on board with it.
I don't think you will.
He's
be able
checking my list. It's to see who he's going to...
No. I've got Lincoln 13-10 at Bristol Rovers. Set piece mismatch. Lincoln 6th best away side in the league.
Our
Only
survey
lost
says...
I don't know.
I'm really sorry to hear that.
I think there's
Really, really sorry to
better
hear that.
teams to back.
one. Is there?
Tell us more about Lincoln. Didn't really
Real
hear it.
shame, that.
I was getting buzzer noise over your explanation.
You've had 3 from 4, though. Haven't you?
Yeah, but I think
You've had a good run.
this team wins as well.
Jesus Christ, Lincoln have only lost once away all season.
Thank you. The best away side in the league, I'll have you know. Bristol Rovers.
Winner's over. Go on.
Yeah, Bristol Rovers. Well, Lincoln are the best away side in the league. They're 6th in the league, full stop. They finished last season like a house on fire, and they've just grown into this season. Bristol Rovers, though, and this is the beautiful part of this bet, are the worst set-piece side in the Football League, according to the underlying data. And guess what? Lincoln are the best set-piece side in the Football League. They've scored 10 times from set pieces, so you got a set-piece mismatch.
So
You've got
one's
the
according
best
to the
away
underlying
side.
data and one's according to the actual goals.
Yeah,
Blimey heck.
there's no rules
Too much-
against that,
too
is
many, Too many numbers to deal with my
Are you
little
teasing
head.
what's coming in Jimmy's punt this weekend?
there? Maybe. Oh my God, did I tell you what? I think I told you, but did I tell you what happened the other day? The local team, we were at the pub of the local Sunday League team,
Yeah.
and the guy who owns it comes in, and he's got a picture of like my face, you know, on the column.
Yeah.
Top of the thing. I'll see if I can get it now. It's not really important if you're listening to this on the podcast.
Well, we'd say, this is a good point to direct people to the YouTube channel. You can watch all the episodes. You can see our lovely faces. Subscribe to that. You never miss an episode as well. It just pops up. New episode free.
If
Here
you
go.
are watching on YouTube, he came up
That-
with this
that graphic.
This loaded on his phone. He said, "Oi lads, how much does that look like, Jimmy?"
Oh, no.
I'm like, "Fucking hell, Dave, that is the spits. Where have you found that?"
Let's say, did you go along with it? Did anyone actually say no?
I don't think he knows still yet, unless he's listening to this, and then he'll be like, "Wait a minute."
See how long you can keep this going for. See how long you can keep it going for.
You're not having this pick though, are you?
fear for you and your fourfold potential because
Maybe,
Joe was
maybe we
straight
put
away
a pin
going,
in it. Maybe we put a pin in it.
Yeah, it's like saying to a child, I don't know what you say to children, but just make them not do it.
I was just double checking because I know we talked about Bristol Rovers before that they're very home good. away bad, and it is very much the case. So they've like won 4, lost 2 at home, and then away from home they've been terrible. 1 win, 1 draw, 5 defeats. So yeah, I think we're asking a lot.
Why don't I throw another away team from this division at a similar price? I think, having a quick scan on it there, if Lincoln were 13-10 at 7-5, so a bit of a better price. What about Wickham away at Wigan? This is something that time and time again we've said, oh, don't back against, back Wigan at home, back against them away, and yet it's kind of not the case anymore. They're not particularly an effective side at home anymore, Wigan, whereas that was the big strength of theirs last season. 2 wins, 2 draws, 2 defeats in home games. And Wickham, we spoke about in an episode a couple of weeks ago, didn't we? Absolutely flying at the moment. Thrash Stockport 5-0. 5-0 they beat Stockport away from home.
Have you seen the Stockport Man of the Match picture?
No.
Oh, you keep talking, let me load it.
Okay, Thrash Stockport 5-0. 6 wins in a row now across all competitions. They beat York in the FA Cup last time out, which I know are from the National League, but they topped the National League. Just flying, absolutely flying at the moment. And it just feels like a point where, do you just keep backing this winning run to continue? And particularly at a price of 7-5. This isn't like we're saying 4-6, or it's a bit of a risk. It just feels like a price that immediately kind of jumps out to you for away sides across Saturday's slate. And do you just have to side with the value when it's available on a Wickham team who, say they're top of the league and nothing's stopping them at the moment?
Yes.
Can stop us now.
Show me the picture.
Oh, yeah.
Again,
So,
you need to get on YouTube to see this.
do you know what we can do? I just thought when someone edits the show, they can put the tweet bosh straight, so I don't have to show it to the camera.
I see it.
You can see it. So Will Collar got man of the match. Here he is smiling.
Ah.
Despite a 5-0 loss. Joe, do you want to look at it? Oh, you don't want
It
to.
was great, that, yeah.
So he had to come out and say, just to clarify, I didn't want to receive the award and asked not to. Obviously, I'm gutted about the result. I always smile on photos, though.
Look, that sponsor is... That sponsor
Look at his
presumably-
face.
Oh, that is
presumably it's a
unbelievable.
sponsor, right?
He's
It's
a good-looking boy, isn't he?
Oh, yeah. You would smile if you looked like
Oh,
that.
my gosh.
That
He's gonna go
sponsor's putting
far.
Loads of money into that club, right? The least you can do is smile in a photo for them. So leave him alone.
incredible.
Leave him alone. Get off his back.
Yeah. That was hilarious.
Oh, God.
Back to Wickham. You nodded, and we're going.
Yeah, 100%. Everything that TC said, that we had them in the Acca 2 weeks ago, maybe.
Leighton Orient.
And yeah, when we were discussing it, then so I backed them in midweek, and I was really close to backing them just to win because they were 9-4 to win at Stockport, and there was no part of me that thought that they weren't going to win. And in the end, I just went with can't even remember, did I go draw no bet or double chance, one or the other, just for the safety net, because that was massive, 13-10 still. They're just playing so well, and it just feels like the bookies haven't caught up with it yet. And it's not like they're overperforming data massively. So, yeah, to Tom's point of should we just be backing them for as long as we can, I would say yes. And Wigan have been struggling a bit. So I'd be much more in favour of this because the price is fantastic. And Wickham, it goes back to, is it the final 11 or 12 games last season, I think? They only lost 2 matches. So it's not even just this season. It's a really, really strong run. So, yeah, I'm all for it.
Jimmy, thoughts on Wickham keeping the good times rolling?
What price is it?
7-5 away at Wigan.
Okay. What does that take the Acca to?
Well, I can tell you what that takes the Acca to. It takes the Acca as 4-fold. We don't have to go for that nonsense 5 to best price of 11.43 to 1.
That'll do for me.
I bet lads will give us a nice little boost on that, won't they?
What
Please.
else?
Yes.
Liking it?
Yes, yeah. I want Wickham in, actually. I was just looking up Bristol Rovers after...
Just got really excited.
Yeah, say, whoa, what's he saying? Whoa, what's
No,
going on?
I was just
Go on.
looking up Bristol Rovers to try and make you have all my 4 teams in, but I can't argue with Wickham. Yeah, wonderful.
4 picks then for this week's Acca, and it is as follows. It is all League 1 and League 2, actually. In League 1, we've got Peterborough to beat Cambridge, and then it's the game we just discussed there. It's Wickham for an away win at Wigan. Dropping down into League 2 then, it is Chesterfield to beat Accrington, and it is MK Dons to beat Swindon and a number of bookmakers, etc., going above 11 to 1 on that fourfold. And as we say, every week, remember to keep it fun, never bet more you can afford, and please gamble responsibly. Make sure you get in touch with us on social media. Search Sporting Life Football. You'll be able to find us that way. I plugged the YouTube channel.
Good lad.
Head on YouTube, because the producers in the magic wall there, if you're watching on YouTube, which ironically I'm directing you to, they're behind there. They're always going, oh, plug the YouTube channel. Get people onto the YouTube channel.
Oh.
Love of God, watch this on YouTube and subscribe. Also means that you never miss an episode. Touched on Sky Bet Boost there. sportinglife.com/football, midday on Friday. You'll be able to find the link to back that at an enhanced price. Please, for the love of God. I know we're up this season about plus 12 points this on the Acca, but we need a winner, don't we? It's been a while. It has been a while. Hopefully that comes this week. We'll be back next week.